Pratunta Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In this session we will review the Nama Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodandam. Ambal is Chatur Bahu Samanvita. That means she has four hands, two hands at the back, two hands at the front. Of these, in the last two sessions, we reviewed the two hands at the back as holding Pasham in Raga svarupa Pasadhya and Ankusham in Krodhakarankushojjvala. We will now review the third hand here, in which Ambal is holding a very special bow. It's called the Sugarcane Bow. It's called Ikshu Kodandam. Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodandam. Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodandam. Ambal is holding a sugarcane bow in her hands, and that is the Nama that we are going to review in this session. This Nama Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda has four components in it: Manas, Roopam, Ikshu, Kodanda. Manas means mind. Rupa means it's a form of mind, right? Ikshu, sugarcane. Kodanda means bow. She who holds mind in the form of a sugarcane bow. If we worship Kamakshi, if we see Rajarajeshwari, Ambal, they all have Ikshu Kodandam. Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari has an Ikshu Kodandam. Ikshu Kodandam means sugarcane bow in her hand. So Manas, Roopam, Ikshu, Kodanda. Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda. Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda. Let's review each one of the components in this Nama. Kodandam. Kodandam is the divine bow. We are all very famous. We are all very familiar with the term Kodandam. Whenever we say Kodandam, immediately who comes to our mind? Immediately Sri Rama comes to our mind, because Rama is Rama Kodanda Rama. He who holds the Kodanda in his hand. Like that, Sri Lalitambika also holds Kodanda. That's what this Nama says. Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda. Even though visually we distinguish that Sri Rama is a deity, Sri Lalitambika is a deity, and they are different deities visually. That's how we visually through our we think of it. But think about this. Sri Rama held the Kodanda in order to protect the innocent from the harmful ones. Sri Lalitambika holds the Kodanda to protect us as well. So the fundamental principle of protection is the same, whether the deity is that we see is as Rama or whether we see it as Sri Lalitambika. The fundamental principle is that there is only one Ekaha. There is only one Advaitam. Sri Rama and Sri Lalitambika are one and the same from a Tattva perspective. So that's the Kodandam. Sri Lalitambika has a very special bow in her upper left hand. If you see, this is the left hand. These are the two hands that are on the front, right? So on the front upper left hand, she has this Kodandam. Kodandam is the bow. Kodandam means the very very firm bow. It's not just a Kodandam, it's Ikshu Kodandam. Ikshu Kodandam means sugar cane. So she is holding a sugar cane bow, a bow made out of sugar cane. Think about that. That's the Stula Roopam. So when we go and physically have a darshan of Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari, she has an Ikshu Kodandam, a sugar cane bow in her hand. That is called the Stula Roopam with a sugar cane bow. But if we carefully observe, it's not just Ikshu Kodandam. The Vasanyadi Devata specially prefix the term Mano Roopam before the Ikshu Kodandam. So they say Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda. So this is not just a sugarcane bow. The Nama Vasanyadi Devata subconscious does not just say Ikshu Kodandam alone. It says Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodandam. It means the sugarcane held by Ambal is not just another ordinary bow. It is a very special bow that is a personification of the mind, personification of the Mano, Manas, Manas Roopa Ikshu Kodandam. That bow, which is a representation, which is a personification, which is an indication that she is holding the mind in her hands. That's the sukshma rupam of the sugarcane bow, and hence it is the mind that she's holding as the bow in her hand. That's the intended meaning of this nama. Mind is the most important thing to control. Mind is where all the thoughts arise, and those thoughts in our mind define who we are. It is it is it is the mind that tells us what we should do, how we should do. Everything is determined by that mind, right? Our mind controls everything. So it is an important aspect that goddess holds in her divine hands. Now, mind is always compared to a restless monkey. We will be physically in one place, but our mind will be wandering to another continent somewhere. This we can literally empathize when we sit for puja, when we chant mantras or when we do sahasranama. Our mouth will be like constantly chattering. Over a period of time we'll get familiar with it. We will be chanting, but for a few seconds mind will be somewhere, and then we'll catch up and come back to doing the sahasranama again. So like that, whenever we sit in, that's the nature of mind. It wanders from in a fraction of a second. While we are cooking, we will be cooking, but mind will be wandering somewhere. Oh, what is the child doing at the school, right? So mind has this property of being a restless monkey. It will wander from one place and immediately it will be in another place. From one continent, it will can think what is going to happen in another continent. So it is really uncontrollable. That's why they say mind is a restless monkey. Imagine going to buy a sari in a shop. 1 second we will say, this is the color I want. This, so we will spend like 2 hours, good 2 hours scanning through all the saris, and we'll say, this is the most beautiful of all the saris. I want this sari. And then next second we'll say, oh, this is very beautiful. Hmm? So there are very many likes and dislikes in a fraction of a second. So 2 hours we spent and finalize this. When something else the mind likes, this one becomes a dislike, and this one becomes the like, right? So mind wanting something is called sankalpam, making a determination that this is what I want. That aspect of the mind is called sankalpam. The immediate opposite reaction of, I took the sari. Will this look good on me? Is this really what I want? Will the sari be comfy in the hot weather? Maybe I should take this one. Mind will think in the opposite of what it was thinking before. That is called as vikalpam. Okay, so sankalpam and vikalpam are two modifications of mind that will always happen. When the mind is with us, it will endlessly wander from one place to another uncontrollably, or from one thing to another, wanting something, not wanting something, things like that. It will continuously wander with sankalpam and vikalpam when it is with us, and it will waste our energy. But when the same mind is in Ambal's hands, our mind will only seek what is needed. That is one of the reasons why Ambal holds this Ikshu Kodandam as the personification of mind. Now, mm, Kodandam, the bow. The bow itself is very hard, and to see the bow needs to bend and flex to keep it stable. So many times they add another dry aspect to it, which is the bamboo to keep it strong. So it is dry. On top of it, they add bamboo to make sure that it is firm and does not break, because like we'll be stretching, flexing, things like that. So bamboo is also hard. So whenever we think of a bow, it feels like it is something that is very hard, that needs to be super, it's dry, it is hard. That's how a bow is usually. But Sri Lalitambika's bow is not made of any of those hard materials. What did we say? It is Ikshu Kodanda, a sugarcane bow. How is a sugarcane bow? It's how is the sugarcane inside? It is always moist with sugarcane juice. Right? So Ambal's nature is also being very moist. That means Ambal's mind is always filled with karuna. That's why we say Karuna Tarangitakshim, right? Her mind is filled with karuna. So Ambal's bow is always moist, unlike a regular bow, which is hard and it does not have any moisture. Ambal's bow is very moist and very special, filled with karuna. If the bow is moist, how can it ever be strong? This is one of the fundamental things that is conveyed here. See, whenever we say bow, we expect it to be strong, right? But we just said that Ambal's bow is fully filled with moisture, fully filled with karuna. How can it ever be strong? That's the speciality of this bow. Even though it is moist, even though it is filled with sugarcane juice, it is filled with karuna. Hence, Karuna overtakes everything. Ambal's bow is even still super strong, even though it is moist, because it is filled with Karuna. That's one of the interpretations of this Nama. The next thing is the bow, the regular bow. That's usually hard and like not approachable, right? You just like it's a symbol of Veera Rasam, right? It's a valor. It's like that. Here, Ambal's Ikshu Kodanda is sweet. Sugarcane, it is a sugarcane bow, Ikshu Kodandam. Ikshu Kodandam is known for its sweetness because sugarcane has the fundamental sugar which is very, very sweet. So, Ambal's nature is also to be very, very sweet because it is filled with karuna towards her devotees. So even though the bow is a weapon, when held in Ambal's hand, it is moist as well as sweet, unlike any other weapon that we have heard of. So Ambal's Karuna makes it moist and also drenches with its sweetness. When we talk about sweetness, if we now come back and see the fundamental definition of who Rama is. Ramayati iti Rama, one who brings happiness to the mind with his sweet nature, right? With his nature of Karuna. That is Sri Rama. That's why we say Ramayati iti Rama. Similarly, one who holds the Ikshu Kodandam, that is fully filled with sweetness and moist with karuna, brings us all happiness. That is Sri Lalitambika. So, though they may both appear as two different forms, yet their nature filled with karuna and their intent to protect are hence the same. That is Advaitam. Now, Bhashyam summarizes a few more very important aspects of this Nama Mano Roopekshu Mano Roopekshu Kodanda. So let's look at that. Our body is called Shariram. This Shariram has a gunam which is Siryate. Siryate means it will become tired and fall off over a period of time. We can see that, right? Like a grass, it is so powerless. Over a period of time, we can see, like as we age, we can see each part will show its nature, right? Like we wear glasses because our eye power is like that. Our skin gets wrinkled. We get tired. We have to watch our diet, right? That is siryate. That is the property of the shariram. It's the guna of it. Like a grass, it becomes powerless day by day. But for a mighty, even a small grass can be a weapon. In the hands of a mighty person, even a small blade of grass can be a mighty weapon. Like that, only we have the power to take the shariram that is meant to fall off, to use it to achieve the greatest lakshyam. That's we need to know how we need to wheel the mind towards its intended destination. That is the purpose of Mano Roopekshu Kodanda. The Shariram may be very powerless, but if we wield the mind to use that Shariram for the intended purpose, we will achieve the greatest Lakshyam. We need to channel our mind to see what our purpose is. That's the first intent conveyed. The next, an archer places the bow in the arrow and sends it to the intended destination. Reaching the target is not because of the arrow's strength, if you see. It is the stability of the bow that helps the arrow propel faster, isn't it? So, what is the base? What is the fundamental structure that needs to be strong here. It's the bow that needs to be strong. If the bow is facing downwards, how will the arrow go, even though it is powerful? So the mind has to be firm. If the bow is wobbly, the arrow will just fall off like that. If the mind is strong, the shariram will go to its intended destination. That's the second principle conveyed here. The arrow will see how firm the bow is held. That's the base. How flexible. Then it will position itself to reach the target like that. Our shariram will see how firmly we keep our mind to reach the lotus feet of Sri Lalitambika. With the bow and the arrow, we can yield an arrow, we can use a bow, but we never are sure that if it would reach the intended destination. But with Ambal's grace, we can be fully assured that meditating on this Nama Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda, our mind will do its intended job of lifting our shariram, our physical shariram, to achieve its intended lakshyam. Our intended, the shariram is a reflection of how we use it with our mind. See, that's the important concept conveyed here. Ambal will pour her grace like the sweetness in the sugarcane and make us all drench in that moisture of her karuna. If that mind is strong, it can definitely reach its intended destination. Since Ambal helps us to do what we intend to do with our mind, Sri Bhaskara Raya states that this Nama is a representation of Kriya Shakti. Kriya means to do. Our mind does good things when it is in the hands of Ambal's Ikshu Kodanda, the sugarcane bow. So Bhaskar Rayar calls this Nama as Kriya Shakti. And the Adhistana Devata for the sweet and karuna filled sugarcane bow, Ikshu Kodandam, is Mantrini Devi. That is this Nama Mano Roopa Ikshu Kodanda. As next steps with Acharya's blessings, let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Loka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone.